Every time I read or hear about manure, the biggest thing is they all say it's waste. Manure is fertilizer. People come and take it from us. We pump it on other people's land. They haul it away to make topsoil. The potato guys want it, the berry guys want it. They fight for it because it's fertilizer, it's all fertilizer. And fertilizer is the best, and manure is the best. Manure doesn't feed the grass as much as it feeds the soil the grass is growing in. And like us as dairies, we all have tons of grass. Grass is one of the few things that doesn't take anything out of the soil per se, it always makes the soil better. I'm Troy Linson from Linden, Washington. We dairy about a mile from the Canadian border. We milk 700 cows on a farm my dad bought in 1976. And he grew up the street about 4 miles on my grandfather's farm, which we actually farm now as well.
About 1/3 of all global lands are either moderately or severely degraded from processes like erosion, salt buildup, compaction, acidification, or buildup of toxic pollutants in the soil. Economists have estimated that in the US alone, the environmental and social costs of soil degradation are about $85 billion a year from things like human health implications, reduced productivity, loss of biodiversity, environmental degradation. My name is Deirdre Griffin-LaHue, and I am a soil scientist with Washington State University's Northwest Washington Research and Extension Center in Mount Vernon. And so I focus on trying to improve soil management so that we can have healthier soils and healthier crops.
My name is Gabe LaHue. I'm a soil scientist with Washington State University like Deirdre. I do a lot of work on things like how can we manage soils to improve infiltration, drainage, water holding capacity, and then also looking at soil moisture management and what are thresholds for irrigation, how can we get the most productivity for our crop from water management.
One place where we think there's really some intervention points are trying to increase soil organic matter and increase soil carbon. I think dairy could play a big part of that solution. I mean, we talk to people all the time who have kind of bemoaned the fact that there's fewer and fewer dairies because it used to be very easy for them to either get manure or to be on lands that had been historically manured, and that's just not the case anymore. So manure can do a couple things. You know, manure can be separated into different components. The liquid, the lagoon water, that kind of component that people use mostly as a nitrogen fertilizer, and all those nutrients are basically feeding microbial communities, which helps them create aggregates and other kind of microbial glues that help bind the soil together. And then the fiber from the dairy, organic matter, the solids, are really important in terms of those can also be processed by the microbes, and those can work to help increase soil organic matter.
My name is Nicole Emberton. I'm a nutrient management specialist with Whatcom Conservation District. I get the privilege of working with dairy farmers all the time on nutrient management, water quality, air quality, a lot of our resource challenges that we have with our local environment, but also the benefits that their dairy and their practices can bring to that matrix. I think there's a lot of misconceptions with dairy, unfortunately. I'm going to pick the environmental piece as one of the biggest ones, since that's what I work within quite a bit. And I will say that I think the general public thinks that farming as a whole, for some reason, and particularly dairy farming, is a negative contributor to our environment, that they're grossly polluting, that things are being put out without thought or without management, without care to the impact, and that is absolutely not true.
Environmentally, the biggest challenge is rain. On our farm, like our thing is to not let any rain ever get mixed with any cow manure. Because if you catch any rain, you have to store the rain. And when we get 4 feet of rain, that's a lot of storage that is just wasted space. It's just water. And the water can be out in the field. It doesn't need to be stored.
I've been working with Troy and the Linson family for wow, maybe almost 10 years now on various practices. You know, I usually joke with my dairy farmers that milk is a byproduct of their manure production, that manure is one of the most fabulous and best things they can produce on their farm. It has extreme unknown benefit to our environment and our ecosystem, in that cows eat feed, they make manure, that manure goes out to create more feed that's fed back to the cows and so on. It's this amazing, sustainable, if you will, relationship.